Ladies and gentlemen, it is a real pleasure to address you today. The private sector is a critical partner of the United Nations in achieving our common goals. Increased investment in sustainable development is critical to tackling many of the challenges we face, from the climate crisis to growing inequality to protectionism and populism. The impressive agenda for this conference reflects that reality. As investors, you have the power to redirect resources towards responsible investments, which means investments that are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, our global blueprint for peace and prosperity on a healthy planet. By investing in people and in clean, green growth, you can do good while doing well. There's a growing awareness that the way business manage environmental and social governance factors impacts financial returns. Incorporating all these factors into your investment decisions is part of your fiduciary duties. But such investments represent only a small share of the $200 trillion in global private financial assets. And they are overwhelmingly directed towards developed economies. As a result, we're not moving far enough or fast enough on the Sustainable Development Goals. The investment gaps are staggering, particularly in developing countries. Even if funding from all public sources is maximized, there will still be a significant shortfall, making financing from the private sector imperative. To galvanize this investment, last month, the Secretary-General launched the Global Investors for Sustainable Development Alliance, comprised of CEOs from over 30 of the world's largest asset owners, asset managers, and companies. He has tasked the GISD with delivering solutions to unlock long-term finance and investment in sustainable development, and to mobilize additional resources for the countries and sectors most in need. The Secretary-General has also established a task force on digital financing of the SDGs to harness the potential of fintech in mobilizing and aligning investments with sustainable development. The task force has already published its interim findings, and final recommendations are expected in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, as you gather for your 11th annual meeting, I would like to draw your attention to 3 important areas of action. First, we need to better understand the interaction between private companies and the Sustainable Development Goals. Investment products that are presented as sustainable must make a real difference. This will require more consistent and meaningful disclosure by corporations on social and environmental issues. Inconsistent and incomplete data makes it difficult and expensive for investors to interpret and compare products. Second, we need to address the short-term focus of capital markets. The climate crisis is upon us, but investment decisions are still failing to take this into account. We need a long-term investment horizon that factors in long-term risks and costs. This will require promoting long-term indices and investment horizons in credit ratings and moving away from compensation packages that are disproportionately tied to short-term performance. Third, we need responsible private investments to reach all developing countries, including those that are small islands or landlocked or the least developed, and that align with government priorities. This may require the use of blended finance instruments to narrow the gap between perceived and real risks and make best use of concessional resources. The United Nations system is working extensively on all of these issues, notably through the work of the Interagency Task Force on Financing for Development. But time is running short. The Secretary-General will launch a decade of action in January to raise ambition and set a faster pace for implementing the SDGs. If we maintain the status quo, we will fail to preserve our planet and deliver the future we want. Investors who embrace this change will be the industry leaders in the years to come. I urge you to use this conference to help frame solutions to increase the involvement of the financing sector in our common agenda and mainstream responsible investment across portfolios towards a more sustainable and inclusive planet for all. Thank you.